Hey everyone, and welcome to our Neto Analytics Studio webinar. I'm Felicity and I've got Mark from Glew with me today. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Morning, Felicity. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm so well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. So for those of you who don't know, this month we're running webinars every Wednesday morning on a different analytics topic. So last week we went into customer segmentation, and this week we're taking a deep dive into lifetime value, or LTV. So what exactly is it? And how can you increase your store's lifetime value with Neto Analytics Studio? So what is Glew, or who are Glew? Well, Glew.io is the underlying technology that we have baked into the Neto Analytics Studio platform. This means that you get the best-in-class analytics software right from within Neto. Why did we choose Glew to bake into Neto Analytics Studio? Well, it's because they're the very best in their field of e-commerce analytics and business intelligence software. And who are we? Well, as I mentioned, today we are lucky enough to be joined by Mark from Glew. Mark is the VP of Sales, and he's fantastic at helping his clients understand their lifetime value and how to use it for driving product and advertising decisions. Mark, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your background?
My name is Mark. I am our VP of Sales here at Glew. We are the world's largest e-commerce analytics system. I am from the United States. We are the partner for e-commerce engines, all kinds of people trying to make lots of money offline, and we're here to facilitate that and do it better with lots of data.
And of course, I'm Felicity, the content marketing specialist here at Neto. You probably know my name from a lot of the emails that come through, and of course, webinars. And I'm super excited to be here today as well. Okay, so what's on the agenda for today? Well, firstly, I'm going to give a quick overview of Neto Analytics Studio. Then I'll pass it over to Mark to explain a bit more about exactly what lifetime value is and give us a live demo on the Neto Analytics Studio platform so that we can take a look at the different types of data and reports you can pull to help boost profitability. We'll do a live Q&A at the end, so please pop your questions into the chat box as we go along. And then I'll explain how you can get started with Neto Analytics Studio. So, Neto Analytics Studio. For those of you who don't know already, Neto Analytics Studio is our brand new reporting and insights tool that, as I mentioned, is powered by Glew. So, as a retailer, you understand the importance of data, but many of you are struggling to really tap into it and get any value out of it. Or it's also dispersed in different platforms, in different tools, spreadsheets, and that makes it really difficult to get an overall picture of your business, to get meaningful data that you can translate into actionable insights. Sound familiar? Well, Neto Analytics Studio pulls all of your data sources together, whether it's your Google AdWords, your Facebook, your email marketing software data. Neto Analytics Studio delivers this business intelligence to help you uncover and act on your store's most profitable products, customer segments, and channels. It's analytics, reporting, and automation that can help you make data-driven decisions to generate more revenue and drive profitability. So what's inside? Well, you'll get one central dashboard for all of your business's data. You'll get data that's dependable, accurate, and actionable. You'll save countless hours by automating reports, which I'm sure many of you are really excited about. You'll get a better understanding of your customers' purchase behavior. You'll be able to better segment customers so that you can tailor your marketing activities and budget. And as I mentioned, the previous webinar was on customer segmentation, so if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to check it out. You'll gain insights into which products are hot and which products are not. And we have an upcoming webinar on products, so again, register for that. And you'll analyze marketing to know what is working and how to spend your budget. So how exactly can Neto Analytics Studio help increase lifetime value? To answer this, I'll pass it over to Mark.
Yeah, sure, absolutely, Felicity. So guys, today we're going to learn about what lifetime value is, why it's important, and how to improve it. So what lifetime value is, it's basically the cornerstone of any e-commerce business. Where we got this inspiration from here at Glew to really make it meaningful is through Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. Shark Tank, we all love Mark Cuban. Hopefully that's over there in Australia as well, maybe a version of it. Kleenex, pretty much any company worth its salt is going to need to know what this term is and how to use it. If you're looking at my screen, it's the amount of money that somebody or a set of people will spend with you until they die or you go out of business. It's a very morbid way of looking at it, but that's what it means. So it's really important that we know how to use it, right? Analytically and mathematically, another way of thinking about it is it's the average order value multiplied by the purchase frequency of a person or set of persons, right? So the more they spend with you and the more often they spend with you, the higher the lifetime value of the company. You got to do both. So it's really important that you do both well. But note that every company will have its strength, right? Some companies get you to buy a lot, that's the key, at once, whereas other companies, like a beauty company, for instance, might get you to buy small amounts over time. So we'll talk more about this later. The goal, though, is to increase two things, right? We can't just increase the lifetime value on its own. We also have to increase the amount of customers that you have or you acquire at the same time. But those customers, and keep this in the back of your mind though, acquiring customers is really important, but we have to acquire the right customers, which means the customers with the high lifetime value. So Neto, is going to optimize this on 4 levels. The first level is going to be the who, right? Who are you selling to? This is a really important question and we'll address it. The second one is what you're selling to them. The third one is where you are finding them. And the last one is when do you find them, right? Who, what, where, and when. Think about it. If you buy something, if someone buys something from you, where they're looking for it and when they're looking for it, you're going to get a sale. So we're going to continuously align these over and over again. When it comes to who, if you're looking into Neto Analytics here, we're first going to start with who, right? So with who, we need to treat different people differently. Every store on this webinar has some type of advantage, right? Some type of customer base that you're trying to serve. For example, I work with a company out here in America called Run Rabbit. They sell to runners, okay? But even runners can be treated differently. We have old runners, we have young runners, we have runners in Alaska, we have runners down in Miami, right? So we have all kinds of different runners. And the more that we can treat them differently, the higher your conversion rates, and therefore the more opportunity you'll have to make more money. Now, if you look into Neto Analytics, you'll find many predefined segments in here. And I encourage you to take a look at these, as Neto and Felicity have done a really good job of making sure that everything is labeled clearly. But in a more advanced way of looking at things, though, is something called custom segmentation. You probably covered this back in the previous seminar. I encourage you to go look at it. But a very powerful way of thinking about this is who, right? Increases lifetime value. The second thing is what. What are we going to use to increase lifetime value? What are we selling to people? We're going to cleave this question into 2. There's people that we have information on already, and there's people who we don't. For the people that we don't have information on, you want to go into Neto Analytics and click into the product section and pull up a product. When you do so, what you'll see is the products that are often bundled with said product, right? And when people buy the Costa Rica sandal, 33% of the time they buy the gold sequin pump, and 30% of the time they buy the Megan Brown felt hat. Knowing this, what Neto's engine does is it actually takes this product level data and it matches it up to the customer. So what it'll do is it'll look at, okay, well, Ethan bought the high heels and the purse, hopefully for his wife, Ethan. But we're also going to match this up directly with the products that Ethan has the highest probability of purchasing. When you push your segments over into maybe like a email engine or something like that, what you'll have done, is you'll have increased 2 things at once. You'll have increased average order value with the Neto's function of matching up each specific individual with the products that they have the highest probability of buying. And you're going to max out purchase frequency via treating different people differently. So what we've just done, actually, whether you know it or not, is we've increased the lifetime value of the store. Now, the third thing we're going to optimize is where. Where are you actually finding the highest lifetime value customers? In order to do this, what you're going to do is you're going to go into customers and you're going to go into lifetime value. When you do, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down down here into LTV-based customer profitability. What this is doing is it's breaking down your sales by channel, okay? Now, this is really important. Before we visit this, we have to actually visit attribution models, okay? So what attribution models are, if you've never heard of them before, is they're grading systems that each of these different channels use in order to grade their own homework. If you ever have looked into your Facebook account or your Instagram account or Google AdWords account, you'll notice scores in there that these different ad channels are using to score, quote unquote, how much money they've made you in said time interval, right? Maybe over the month or the quarter. Well, these scores are self-scored, meaning there's a conflict of interest there. We can't have people grading their own homework. Even if we could, they're still using different grading systems. So it would be like comparing a, I don't know if you have SATs out there in Australia, but we have different, entry-level exam, entrance level tests, right? It'd be like comparing a business school score with a medical school score. If you compared both of those grades, although one's an A and one's a B, it wouldn't make any sense, right? So what Glew has is one attribution model. This is really important to know. We have a first purchase attribution model. What that means is the channel that triggered the first purchase for John Doe will get credit for every purchase that John Doe makes forever. So for example, if John Doe comes in through Instagram, leaves, then he comes in through Pinterest and then leaves, and then comes in through referral and then buys after coming in through referral, referral will be given credit for all of John's purchases forever. Knowing this, we now actually have a plan of action when it comes to optimizing the lifetime value of my store. Less of this, more of this, right? I have 100 people or 1,000 people coming from referral and they pay $144 with me. I have 900 people coming from email. These people pay $204 a head with me. My goodness. What I'm going to do is whatever effort behind my referral, I'm going to do a little bit less of, and I'm going to do a little bit more of that email because this is a more efficient route for me to make more money. When this column right here over long periods of time starts becoming the same number is when you've actually optimized your advertising spend over time. If you click deeper into one of these channels, what you'll find is the same data on a campaign level. Now, in this Neto demo account, there's no UTM codes here, but what you want to look at is your revenue and lifetime value, right? If I have a high revenue number and a high lifetime value number, that campaign is good for acquisition. If I have a high revenue number and a low lifetime value number, that's really good for retention. It brought in a lot of money, but it just so happened to be that those people bought first from a different campaign or a different area of your marketing effort. So really intelligent information here if you're thinking about how to increase the lifetime value of your store. The last thing we'll talk about is going to be when, okay? So when do you advertise or reach out to people? In your Neto Analytics, what you're going to have is you're going to have a lapse point calculated for you, okay? What this is the number of days that you have with the customer to get that customer to convert again before they're not coming back, or chances are they're not coming back. What we do is Neto crawls through your system, okay? And what it does is it averages out all the distances between every repeat purchase you've ever had to come up with a date interval that's consistent, it's dependable and actionable for you. So this is a really, really solid piece, right? Someone who's selling refrigerators is going to have a much longer and deeper window than someone who's selling beef jerky, to get very random on you. So really important to note. Active, at-risk, and lost customers, these are different segments that we've covered in a previous webinar. These are different segments that each of your customers will be placed in based on your company's lapse point. Active customers are less than 80% of the way through the lapse point. At risk is between 80% and 100% of the way through the lapse point, and lost is completely over the lapse point. If I come over here into the customer list section, you'll see there's a status attached to every customer. And when you click into the customer, what you'll actually find is where your customer lives in their said status and how to treat them. We're trying to increase lifetime value, right? So we're trying to get people to buy again, not to churn them, via them clicking the unsubscribe button or the do not ever reach out to me button or whatever button you have that will tell you to leave them forever, right? Active customers, this is an education moment. Let them know what's up. You like them, they like you. They're expecting your correspondence. Strike while the iron's hot. At-risk customers, I'm a firm believer in not discounting ever, but if you had a gun to my head and asked me, Mark, when do I discount? This would be probably the only time I would recommend it. If I had a first purchase at-risk customer, I would consider incentivizing them for that second time, not for the second purchase, but in the expectation that they buy a third time all on their own. Lost customers, they're past their lapse point. They're not lost forever. We're just going to treat them differently, right? So, high value touch points like product launches, their birthday, that's up to you to get creative, but keep them high value so you don't churn the right to subscribe to them, right? Now, the last thing I will cover before you break it open for questions is going to be these two charts. This line is the lifetime value of your store moving in a steady direction from southwest to northeast. This should be a steady line. It should actually not look like this graph. It should be a steady line moving much like where you're following my mouse. Now, think about now that we've satisfied a lot of lifetime value, think about the two pressures at work on this line. Both are positive. Pressure one is pushing the line up. That is time. That is the repeat customer, the purple down here underneath the chart that will push the line up over time. There is also another force though, which is pushing the line down. That is the new customer. You need new customers to grow, and each new customer has a lifetime value of 0. So that will always put downward pressure on that line. What you're looking for is not a sharp spike up. That might actually mean you're missing out on opportunity or acquiring customers. Not a sharp line down. That means you're wasting opportunity to upsell your customer base. You want to make sure you're looking at these two charts in tandem with one another to ensure that your company's on the right path, which is, I began with it and I'll end with it, is acquiring lots of customers that spend lots of money with you. And that's the end of the piece, Felicity. So do you want to take control back here?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Mark. That was really, really good. So what we're going to jump to now is a bit of a Q&A. If anyone has any questions, pop them into the chat box and we'll get Mark to answer them. All right, so John asked, does lifetime value account for churn, return, and refunds? Mark, what do you think of that?
It's a good question. It's going to depend on, I don't know this offhand, Felicity, but it depends on the Neto's calculation of revenue. So I don't know if that's for us, if that's revenue minus COGS or whatever. I think John asked this. John, what I would do is I would ask your Neto rep in your account what the calculation for revenue is in Neto. And then what you'll do is you'll replace that in the average order value area in that equation. If you Google it or something like that. So Felicity, I hope that answers your question. It depends on, I don't know if there's this, again, it's been a long time. If there's a setting in Neto, what dictates what's included in revenue inside the Neto platform, and that will dictate if it's a yes or no to John's question.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good answer.
Okay.
What else have we got there? How can I use Glew and my data to convert a first-time or second-time purchaser into a customer for life? That's
a really good question. So I think where it starts is actually going back over something that we didn't cover. So I think Amanda, that's a good one. So if you're looking at my screen, go back into the product section over here, and what you'll find for the Costa Rica sandal is the lifetime value of the product. So you have to actually start, Amanda, before the first purchase. You have to be a step ahead. So we're going to start at the origin, which is what did that person buy, right? Because if we're going to get a second purchase, we need to make sure we've laid the groundwork for them being happy to make a second purchase with you. So we're going to look at the lifetime value of the product. What you're going to do is you're going to go into Neto Analytics and you're going to rank your products by lifetime value, okay? There's a way to do that in the predefined products area. Products dash hot products, for instance. I'll show you. Products, go to the hot products or something.
We can't actually see the screen at the moment, Mark.
Oh, you can't see my, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I am so sorry, Felicity. I am so sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, and you can see me now, yes?
Yeah, yep, it's coming up.
Okay,
Got it.
great. So go to products, cold products, go to a predefined segment and rank your products by lifetime value. The higher the lifetime value of the product, the earlier in the customer experience, you're going to want to present that product in order to prime the customer to be cross-sold and upsold with lower lifetime value products later. I'll give you an example. We work with a company called Simply Mac, okay? It's a part of GameStop, which is a huge video game company. Simply Mac sells and resells Mac products. Simply Mac does not need Glew to tell them that the iPhone has a higher LTV than the iPhone charger. Yeah, duh, right? It's more expensive, and when I buy it, it triggers other purchases. What's not so obvious though is think about this. Does the white iPhone or the black iPhone have a higher lifetime value? It's not so obvious. So what you want to do, Amanda, is you want to go into your offering. I assume you have more than one product. This wouldn't apply to you if you didn't have more than one product. And take a look at what products of yours have a higher lifetime value. Now note, they have to have a high lifetime value and a high quantity sold. So don't just blindly look at the lifetime value. If I come in here and I have a high lifetime value, but a quantity sold of 1, all that tells me is I have one person bought this product. One really rich person bought this product, but one person. You want to find a high lifetime value and a high quantity sold or a high order amount, so you have a statistical significant number to help you along the way. So I hope that answers your question. If you have more, I'd encourage you to, I'd be more than happy to email you.
Thanks, Mark. That's probably about all the time we have for live Q&A now. I can see there's quite a few questions in the chat box. And if David doesn't get to them in the chat, we will send out, as I mentioned, an FAQ later on. So if you think that what you've been shown today could help you increase lifetime value of your store and you're keen to get started on Neto Analytics Studio, then this part of the webinar is for you. Neto Analytics Studio is currently available as part of our Neto 360 plan, which is our new fully featured plan that includes everything Neto has to offer. It's got Neto Ship, it's got Pick and Pack, advanced inventory, and access to 3 sales channels. So that might be your e-commerce web store, might be selling through Amazon Australia or eBay, or you might want to use point of sale to sell at trade shows or in store. To check out exactly what's included in the plan or to upgrade, click the link that should be coming up in your chat box right now, or you can simply log into your control panel and click upgrade. Otherwise, if you're keen to test out Neto Analytics Studio first, you can head to Neto Analytics Studio area in your C panel, your control panel on the left, and you'll actually get access to a full demo version, so you can play around as much as you like in that. And that's it for today. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in, and thank you to Glew for joining us. I hope you've got some really valuable insights into lifetime value and potentially how Neto Analytics Studio can help you increase the lifetime value of your store and just help you get better oversight of your business as a whole. The next webinar in the series is how to turn at-risk customers into active customers and looking at a very important metric called lapse point. To sign up for this webinar, just click on the button that's popping up in the chat box now and pop your name down. And if you can't make the Wednesday 9 a.m. time, put your name down anyway, register for the webinar, and that'll ensure that you get the recording sent out to you afterwards. Or check out our YouTube channel, which is where we put all of our webinars and a bunch of other educational resources. So that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye.